Tori.
Hi.
Hi. Who is our special guest who
Hello.
I'm going to be hanging out with soon? Who's that?
This is Tony Danza.
Oh my
This,
God, that dog.
this is
There we go.
one
Is
second.
that not even colleagues? Why are you guys still here? Tori is scrambling like there's an earthquake
Okay.
in her apartment complex.
I'm so sorry. This is Tony Danza, and
What's up, Slapshot?
he has a potential adopter meet today at 5. So I might be saying goodbye to him very, very shortly.
I thought we were supposed to dog sit
You're
tomorrow.
gonna drop it tomorrow, but I think he might by the end of the week be going to someone else. So, but he's doing really well, and he's just 7 pounds of just pure love, and he's friendly with everyone, and
I
he's
ran in a movie with that title once.
How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. I wore my
Yeah.
Jurassic Park shirt because of the Super Bowl ad, my favorite Super Bowl ad.
Tori, am I going to be canceled by saying that I've never seen Jurassic Park before?
Yes.
We need to start a poll. We have to find a colleague that will what's up, Sea Dog? We need to find a colleague that can start to maybe run an in-show poll for us.
Yes.
Because I would love to see everybody's list of movies that they should have seen but have not.
Yes. That's
Like,
one
what's
that is
on yours?
like that's like one of the top 10 greatest movies of all. It changed how we do CGI forever.
I
And
think Brandon, I'm sorry. I know
he's
people are
unsubscribing.
unsubscribing as you should. Michelle, I've never seen Scarface or The Godfather. I know what I think there was like 10 years where I was just drunk the whole time. I didn't watch anything.
I mean, Jurassic Park still holds up. Like, it's still a great, great watch. But yeah, you have some movie deficits that we need to do that. And there's not a lot of movies I haven't seen because my mom and I did the AFI 100 best movies of all time, and we would cross them off.
Cool.
It was so
Citizen
cool.
Kane number one?
Citizen Kane was number 1 for sure. But
Okay.
yeah, no Godfather. I can't believe you guys haven't seen that.
I think it's long and it scares people because whether we want to admit it or not, we are products of this society, and nobody has that kind of attention span. I'm
yeah,
like,
but
oh,
no, it's like you get into a life and a world for 3 hours and you are engrossed in it with the directing and the acting. It's phenomenal. So yeah, I really think you ought to give it a watch. I might have an Italian dinner night and have people over to watch Godfather.
all right, how long is that dinner going to be? I told you when I went to dinner in Italy and I hated it
because it was too long.
It was beyond too long. Too long is like, this movie is 3 hours and 15 minutes. That's too long. Colleagues, I'm not trying to be smug. Like, I didn't like how long. I'm talking about we sat. It's sunshine out. Waiter sits us down. We don't see that MFer for 40 minutes. They come over with water. By the time they came back with menus, the sun was down. I was like, I'm out on this. I'm out on all of this. I know we're
eat slowly.
Americans and we suck, but dude, I don't have. It's the whole night. I don't have that kind of time.
And then you have the primi, the secondi, the carne, like you have all the dolce, like they go through a lot of courses. You have a lot of courses in Italy. And it's supposed to be like, enjoy. You're supposed to be there forever. I know our Americans are like, give me a Big Mac. I'm late for yoga. Go.
Sarah Lee said she's never seen. She says she's never seen Star Wars. There's so many like interesting things where I want to go back and like see what we were all doing during that time of our life. Where like, because there was a period, even though I was too young when Godfather first came out, that when I was like 20, 21, every guy in their basement had the Scarface poster framed, or the Scarface poster framed with a cigar underneath it that was kind of like, entombed in glass to be like, I do this. Yeah. So, all right, Brandon, thank you for reminding people to smash that like button. And speaking about like buttons, Tori, would you smash the like button on the Super Bowl in general? Let's get into it.
Oh, I thought there was going to be like a thing, like the main story.
Oh yeah, I guess I wanted to have a pre-talk, but I guess we should. That's very fair. Let's go ahead and does this, girl. I'm going to turn my mouse on. We are two older people doing a show. Tori, you are doing God's work. You're like a mom with a toddler that's still trying to like tell her girlfriends, "I can hang."
I can
No,
do
who'd you
both.
have? Yeah,
I'll take a little
did you
wine.
did you have a one night stand? Tyler, sit down. Tyler, did you kiss him, girl? I'm not going to tell you
Was it?
again.
I'm
All right.
multitasking. Yeah, the Super Bowl.
Well, tell everybody first of all that I was you and little baby Sar's Uber. I picked you guys up. You had a beautiful dress on.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
Very what's that island in Massachusetts? Very the
Cape Cod.
fancy island. Yes, very Cape Cod summertime dress.
It was. You guys, it's 70 out today in Denver. It was about 72 yesterday, which is insane for a Colorado winter. But I was wearing full on like a summer outfit with like flip-flops, and it was people were so they could sit in the hot tub and watch. It was insanely warm, and it's been insanely warm. The game itself was the most boring thing I've ever seen. Like the most boring thing I've ever seen. I didn't think the commercials also were like that good. Like I thought there was like one or two, but some of the movies coming up I'm excited to see, like that what Michael Dean said, that Brad Pitt Cliff, what's his last name from Once Upon a Time in Hollywood. Oh, Cliff Booth by Tarantino. There's a sequel, and it didn't even release the name of the movie. And I was like, oh my God, I'm totally going to see that. I thought Bad Bunny was awesome. What are your thoughts, Hal?
Okay, first of all, regarding the game, worst Super Bowl ever, I wholeheartedly disagree. I think if you are a person that likes storylines, you are a person that likes redemption stories. We've talked about it a little bit on the show before, but Sam Darnold's journey from being synonymous with one of the worst quarterbacks ever drafted to now possibly being one Super Bowl away from being in the Hall of Fame, I think is a beautiful story. I think Seattle had a great D, and I just like the game, but I kind of like the boring nuances of it. So
well, I thought the defense was incredible. The defense was
about the game.
Yeah, the defense was incredible. Like they sacked Drake Mays 10 times. I mean, the most ever in a Super Bowl. You're frozen.
At least. And Tori, I don't know what. Yeah, is that you or me?
I think that's you.
All right, Tori. Yeah, Tori, you keep going. I'm gonna have to come back. I don't know what the F.
Okay. Okay.
Wait, am I back? Okay, we're good. Okay, good.
7.
Yeah, I do. I just want to say that I really liked the game, and I dropped you and Sarah because you guys were going to a party. Vlad from Spider Moving. Shout out to Spider Moving. Michael Dean, throw that phone number up there really quickly. Because before we start talking about the commercials and the halftime, which we got plenty to discuss, we do need to talk about Spider Moving because they have been holding us down since day one and held us down yesterday right here in this living room. Me and Vlad chopped it up solo while you and Sar were at Corinne Kaplan, friend of the show, family of the show. She had a lavish party. I saw all the hors d'oeuvres and everything when I came to pick Sar up.
It was nice. There was some bacon wrap stuff. You know, when things are wrapped in bacon, I don't care what it is. I'll eat it.
I think that's a good motto. That should be on your tombstone. That's a really good way to go through life. I love it. All right. So Tori, let's get to the halftime show. That's what everybody was looking forward to. Initial honest thoughts. Did it disappoint you? Were you were you happy with it, or did it exceed?
I thought, to be super honest, I thought it was going to be like a bigger spectacle, and really he just walked through like parts of enjoying life, like walking through the farmers and the agricultural workers, and then having a wedding, and like those people actually did get married, and then going up on the electrical transformers, which reminded me of the hurricane in which we did not help Puerto Rico and they lost all their electricity. But I just thought Puerto Rico, the story was just fabulous. And then the dancing was great, and seeing Cardi B, Pedro Pascal, just like in the background was nice. And then of course, I thought his message was excellent. It wasn't too political. It was just like, together we are America. And then the only thing to take over hate is love, which is like basically a Martin Luther King quote, which is phenomenal.
Right.
I thought it was like joyous and fun and flavorful and beautiful. And I think he represented Puerto Rico beautifully. I thought Ricky Martin was awesome, and was a good pick. Gaga was a little random.
Yeah.
A little random for me. But enjoyed it, of course. And he's just a likable guy, and he just has a joy de vivre, and it was lovely. It was just happy. And I can't imagine someone being offended by that. You know what I mean? I was just like really crazed by that. So I just, I did not catch the Kid Rock halftime show. Turning Point USA couldn't even air it because of licensing problems.
Yes.
But I was very happy, and I will remember this one. I thought the set was really cool, how he walked through the sugar canes. So, you know, I give it to him. I thought it was a really beautiful, happy, and like joy inspiring halftime show right when we needed it. I just think that
Tori, we have been talking to each other for the better part of 10 years every day. And I just think our brains are the same now.
Yeah.
I pulled up my phone with the text messages, not the notes that I wrote while I was watching the game. And I don't know if you can see at the top, it says people experiencing joy.
Totally.
And I was like, what am I looking at on the screen right now? I'm like, how kind of life used to be. Now, granted, we're not all dancing in the street with smoking hot chicks. Holy Jesus Christ almighty. Sorry, everybody, like me and Vlad were just silent watching it, like, oh my God.
Sarah and I were like, oh my God, they're so beautiful.
They were stunning humans.
Yeah, they were gorgeous.
But there were just, you know what really got me? Well, there was a couple parts that really stood out to me. One was not only just the attractive backup dancers, but there was a moment where he goes up to kind of the shack, and that older woman hands him like kind of what's a drink in like a red cheap plastic cup. And all my trips to Costa Rica and all my trips to Puerto Rico and hanging out with locals there, that's what it's like. It's not fancy neon words like, it hurts to be beautiful, you belong here. It's just like regular folks dancing and having a good time. And just like that joy was so palpable.
Totally.
And how honored everybody was to be there. And it was just like a culminating moment. That couple getting married was super dope. You know, the backstory on that, they invited Bad Bunny to their wedding, and he said, no, but you can get married at the Super Bowl. And I was like, click.
I thought that was so cute. And I could tell they were really getting married. Like, I told the group, I was like, these two people are actually getting married right now. I can tell, because they look like normal people, like smiling and eating the cake. I also love details of like that little kid laying on 3 chairs at the wedding.
That's what got me.
You know, like that's such a great moment for that. The woman you're referring to, Al, is also a famous woman who has the last, I believe, Puerto Rican social club left. And so she was really well known in Puerto Rico, as was the tacos guy in LA that he went up to. And then giving the Grammy to what some thought was Liam, the 5-year-old in the bunny hat, who was, of course, detained. And by the way, is being ordered to deport shortly. But it was the image of Liam, and it was the giving of a new generation. It was hope, and it was quite sweet. And
yeah, a lot of people said that was the young him giving him the Grammy.
Yes,
like you can do this.
Yes. It was really beautiful. And I think you're absolutely right about just having people being joyous. I also appreciated hearing they kept the dancing going outside the stadium with like the same hats and the same outfits. So it was like an ongoing party. I did hear that some of the trees were people. I saw them running in, which was really funny.
Oh, I saw, you know what I'm always looking for just as a live performer is just like, especially when there's a lot of stuff like moving parts towards the end of it, you know, they all came running through with like the Puerto Rican flag, the American flag. The woman in the front with the American flag was running full speed, but there were like 68 dancers in front of her. So she was weaving, and you could tell like that would have been so, you would just know the Trump administration would have loved for the American flag to end up on the ground. They'd be like, snapshot, he threw that, and then they tried to light it.
Yeah, like none of that happened. It was watched out by 134.2 million, which is the highest ever over Michael Jackson. And the Kid Rock one got, I believe, 5 million.
I saw 6 million, but do you know what I heard? Because I watch a lot of Instagram real kind of reporters. This woman said, because I did watch the TPUSA replay because I care about the show and I hate myself. First of all, when it's on YouTube, can I just say this in general? And this isn't a political statement. You don't need to have the show starts in 19 minutes and then count down, and it's just a blank screen. You can edit that, click, and then cut whatever you want, and then the show can just start. One thing with YouTube and social media in general is if you don't grab people's attention in 3 seconds,
I'm out.
they're gone. So when it's 19 minutes, 10 seconds, and then 3 seconds, it's going to be a lot harder to retain. But I was cleaning the kitchen and I care about the show, so I watched it for you, colleagues. And you know what? It was fine. I don't know if I saw, like, I didn't see the Kid Rock part, but it's the same song that he made 35 years ago, so I think I got it. What people are saying is that the 6 million number was inflated because people were saying, okay, they said they had 6 million live viewers, but they were like, then why isn't your chat going?
Right.
We have 73 people in here right now, and our chat is moving. 6 million, and your chat's not moving at all. Nobody is watching that.
I know.
And so, like, look, you can't lie in today's internet anymore. These people, remember, they tried to lie with the Jeffrey Epstein jail tape, and somebody immediately was like, I looked at the metadata, and those boomers were like, the what now? It's like, stop trying to get one over. Like, you can't do it.
Yeah.
So yeah, I really dug the halftime show. Now, Tori, let's get into what we kind of. I'm going to play this one because I think it does have a little bit to do with fashion. So let's do it. Famous people are making commercials because they're famous, and they're coming on during the Super Bowl when millions and millions of people are watching it. So let's get to it. Tori, what stuck out to you as the best and worst commercial?
The Jurassic Park Xfinity one was my absolute favorite. I had seen it previously and told you guys to look out for it. I just thought it was funny. I thought it had the right people in it. It turned Jurassic Park into a lovely weekend. He was like, keep going with the roar. Like, it was just, oh, no, thank you. And I just, like, when you laugh out loud, that's a good sign. I thought a lot of AI. There was a lot of AI.
Oh, it was almost all.
Almost all of them were AI or sports betting. There was a lot of sports betting also. Dog, I agree with you. The Dunkin' commercial was really cute. But the AI faces on them were like, they're older, so they had to look younger. So it was a little bit weird. But the big theme for me was that they wouldn't reveal the name of the company until like the very end, or not even air it. Like that Coinbase one that was just like words, right, like really like badly like karaoke. And everyone was like, what is this? What is this? And then you see at the end Coinbase. So, that was like this sneaky little thing that everyone was doing. But it's interesting. People say Coinbase was the worst, but you do remember that it was Coinbase. That's the only reason you need to know is if it's a good commercial. Can you remember the product? And that's what we all remember. And then the Budweiser. You're absolutely right, Michelle. The one with the bald eagle and the little, eaglet, and then the horse has wings and he's flying. I was like, oh my God, it's so American.
Yeah.
But I thought that one was good. But yeah, I really like the Jurassic Park one.
Yeah, I mean, well, kind of, even though I kind of dunked on the Budweiser one when we watched the preview of it, I really like the Pepsi polar bears.
I couldn't believe that.
I am inclined to hate that commercial because every time I see polar bears, I can just picture like their white fur caked in blood because they're vicious. They're vicious. I think they're the most. They are like aggressive and terrifying and huge. And so it's like, I don't want to see these damn polar bears. But you know what? The polar bear, when he messed up the taste test, and he was just like walking down the street and he was sad. I think they did a great job of encompassing how the country is feeling right now. talking to your shrink, and even when you're talking to your shrink, you break his damn bed, his couch, and it's just like nothing seems, but they're just like, you can get up. This polar bear got up, you can get up. And I think they did a good job of encapsulating how the country is feeling and linking it with their brand. So I thought that was
but like the whole thing, Al, is that when I see a polar bear in an animation, I immediately think of Coca-Cola. They are one and the same. They are totally the same. For Christmas, you always see them. And for Pepsi to take the polar bear was such a burn on Coke. And I thought, could they sue for like copyright infringement? Because a normal person would see that and think that's a Coca-Cola ad. But I guess you don't have a copyright on a polar bear. Like, I guess you can't, but it was I couldn't get over they used the polar bears. I was shocked. Right. I was shook.
We haven't seen treason like that since the Verizon "Can You Hear Me Now" guy went to Sprint. Remember that? And everybody was like, yo, I can't believe it.
Totally. But it was very good because it really did make you the ones you can remember are the ones that were successful. And that Pepsi one I will definitely remember. And I was like, damn, the people at Coke are like, what is going on? So well, interesting.
Tori, this one, the worst one for me wasn't because I did some nerd stuff and looked around for like literally there's a ton of websites that just grade all the commercials. And which one would you guess graded out the worst?
Oh,
and it wasn't Coinbase.
Was it Mike Tyson?
No, but that was mine. So what do you think was pin in that? And then what do you think the computer nerd sites rated? But yeah, that was mine.
Was it like the security force one? I don't know which one.
It was the AI.com.
Oh, OpenAI.
It was like get your domain name, and then the last name was Elon.
And yes, what was that? Was so strange.
It was so weird. And everybody's like, I signed up for AI.com. I was about to until I saw Elon Musk's name. I was like, I'm not doing that.
As soon as I saw Elon, you've turned off more than half your audience, which is like not a great thing. Like we remember it, but it is not a great thing to be associated with.
Why would you even do that? I thought that was such a terrible decision.
I agree with you.
Put a name of a beloved, put Matthew McConaughey or somebody that people love.
Totally agree with you.
Totally
agree with you. I was like, how are you using this guy's name?
Yeah, it's I will say this, the Mike Tyson one was so weird and so off-putting. It was a close-up of a man that has never exfoliated. And he was talking about his sister in a very, he was like, I didn't know if he was talking about himself or his sister, but like, I was fat and disgusting and eating grapes a lot and Doritos and shoving and I was like, what is this? And he was like, eat good. It was
for Maha, which which is
Make America Healthy Again.
Yes, which is the RFK.
By starting with the measles. Let's get an outbreak going. You lose a lot of weight. You dehydrate. Sometimes you die.
And remember, I'm not laughing at this, but remember I told you guys that there was a rumor in DC from my people in DC friends that said there's a really bad illness that's spreading throughout the detention centers that no one's talking about. It turned out to be the measles. And now there's like an outbreak coming out within the detention centers because not only are they living in filth and excrement and no clean water, they have, a lot of them don't have the vaccines thanks to RFK Jr. So it's a total nightmare. But yeah, that one, I did not understand using Mike Tyson as your spokesperson. I also thought Mike Tyson like wouldn't have done that, but I don't know. And then him biting into the apple just made me think of him biting into the ear of Evander Holyfield. So I was like, I don't know about that.
Well, Tyson is a huge Trump guy, and he's unapologetic about it.
I did not know that.
Oh, he's a huge Trump guy. I will say this, and you're free to like whoever you like, but he's unapologetic about it. And no one's really going to say. They kind of challenged him on the Breakfast Club one time. They were like, how do you like Trump? And he was like, that's who I like. How are you going to question me? And the DJ was like, good point. It's like, all right.
Yeah, don't mess with Elon. Mike Tyson.
Right. Yeah. I mean, I will say this in terms of the, I meant to block this person, not put the comment up about your, What a passive aggressive move. What if I just did that? This chick sucks. My bad.
I'm sorry. I can't get it down for some reason.
Yeah, he needs a new co-host. Why won't that come down? No,
And,
no.
yeah.
I want to get your thoughts on this, Tori, because I think with Maha, once again, they bring up an essential truth. Processed foods are not great for you. We
Totally.
are all, but
Totally agree.
they don't want to discuss the third rail, which is the affordability of organic food. What do you think? Everybody don't want some grapes, dog? What do you know? Have you tasted even the sweets at Whole Foods taste better? They're like everybody wants as close to fresh food as they can get, but it's expensive. And I don't know if I told you when I went to Safeway a couple weeks ago, I got those the big navel oranges are in season, so I got a bag of 4.
You love oranges.
Oh my goodness! I just bought. Tori, do you want to do this with me right now? I'm man. As soon as the show's over, but the woman, she goes, before I ring this up, I want to let you know this bag of 4 navel oranges is $17.
Jeez.
And Tori, I took a picture of them and sent it to Sar, like, yo. And she was, I guess, like so many people had come back, but they were on sale initially when people got them. So they're like, I'll get some more oranges. And I didn't know I was going to have to call Chase, before I did that. So it's just like, until we address the issue of affordability, especially if you have kids, especially if you're on a tight budget or fixed income, then I don't want to hear it with your avoid processed foods. Okay, what you got for me, dog?
Yeah, I agree with you. I think it's actually more insulting to be like, you shouldn't eat this when like that's all people can afford right now. I totally agree with you. Like avocados, I love avocados, great source of protein, great healthy fat. And I'm like, it's like gold. It's like $23 for medium Haas avocados. I'm like, what's in there? Like, oh my God. But yeah, I thought that was a very strange choice. And it just didn't, I also don't picture Mike Tyson and think like healthy. Like to me, that I know he's in great shape, but I don't always consider that. But yeah,
he also talks about having a life full of cocaine abuse and alcohol.
That's kind of what I was thinking,
So no shade. I'm glad he's helped himself, but like, maybe this isn't maybe this isn't the area where we could use. I would like to hear his self-help. I would like to hear his motivation. But the other stuff I could have done without it, unless you're ready to have the much more difficult conversation, which unfortunately they never are.
No.
Which kind of sucks. All right, Tori, let's move on. Let's do this. All right. Tori, are you following the Savannah Guthrie story? As I can't believe we're still. I honestly, and this might be really morbid, I thought that at this point we would have a direction either way. Like we would have a body, or we would have an exchange, ransom exchange, and we have neither. What are your thoughts?
So I was just listening right before on Instagram where some detectives that are not part of the case, but just detectives that they had to hire for like a chat on TV were saying at this point, it doesn't even feel like a normal abduction because it's gone on so long. We have no proof of life. We don't have a photograph. We don't have a drop of her blood. We don't have a lock of her hair. And the way in which Savannah Guthrie spoke to the ransom people, she kept saying, we will pay we want her back. This is very valuable to us. We want peace. And this is very valuable. And instead of saying like, her mother is very valuable. So it's getting a little bit more convoluted as to like whether she's alive and they want her back or they are asking for her body. They searched a septic tank for things that might have been flushed after they at Nancy Guthrie's house. But a lot of people are assuming this could have been from an inside job. And they're questioning that as well. But yeah, they do want $6 million in Bitcoin is what they're saying. That ransom has yet to be paid, although Savannah says she definitely wants to pay it. But it just is starting to feel a little fishy to me, Al, instead of, first of all, it's terrible. I mean, I feel terrible for the whole family.
Absolutely.
But it's starting to get like so much more complicated that things like that tend to have some other things underneath it that I'm just waiting for everyone to come out. The word also is Savannah will never be at that desk again. She will never be on the Today Show ever again.
Wow.
They also have stepped up security in an enormous way for all the other hosts. They have police security, they have security throughout the building and for their families. It was such a targeted attack, you know what I mean? So I don't know, it just feels more complicated than an abduction to me. I wondered what you think. And I know paying people think, oh man, they're letting them win, but like if you want to get your mother back, you pay whatever you want to pay. So and I do think the PIO, the police information officer, he's not great. The sheriff in Arizona that speaks to the press, he forgot or didn't choose to release a very high-tech camera that would have flown in the sky like a drone. And he could have done it right after she went missing. And they now say they regret not doing that. So mistakes were made. I'm not trying to like quarterback armchair this guy. He just doesn't seem like he knows. He seems a little flighty and like unaware of what's happening. But I don't know, Al, it just feels like this has a lot of wrinkles to it underneath it. What do you think?
I think this is kind of what we see. And to just when you said that about the cop making the huge error, on a much larger scale, it made me think about Uvalde. On a smaller but equally morbid scale, it made me think about was it JonBenet out here in Boulder?
JonBenet.
Yes, where like Boulder is an affluent community. I'm sure Savannah Guthrie's mom was in an affluent community. Uvalde was kind of a quiet town. And what we forget about police officers is it's almost like probably if you're a boxer, you got to stay in shape. Mm-hmm. And when your job is mostly driving around, going to get coffee when you know the cute barista's working, doing some paperwork, maybe a couple speeding tickets, maybe a DUI every other Friday, you're not ready for something like this.
Yeah, like the FBI needed to be called in immediately. Yeah. And they were eventually, but again, he just doesn't seem to have, he doesn't give me confidence is what I'll say in these press conferences. And he's like, I can't hear everyone when they're talking too loud. I'm like, dude, you're a sheriff. Like there's going to be problems with people talking too loud. I need
everybody to stand still while I figure this out. That's how he handles like any kind of situation. And it's like, you know, yeah, it's horrible. And it just before we move on, just that comment that you made, because I know a lot of people feel like this. It's like we don't negotiate with terrorists kind of thing. It's like, well, what the hell's happening when there's a bank robbery and there's a hostage in there? Isn't there somebody on the phone? Like, what do we need to do? You have to negotiate. That's what leverage is.
Yeah.
The leverage they have is they have your effing mom.
Yeah.
You know, so we need to figure this out.
Exactly. And Savannah has the money. I mean, Savannah, but it is interesting. She was targeted. And some people are now going all the way because Savannah was mentioned in Epstein's files. Not for anything sexual, but there's like this whole conspiracy that it has to do with Epstein and stuff like that. Yeah.
Really?
Aaron P. wrote nothing to do with the Epstein files ? So there's a whole other layer that's coming out because her name was mentioned, but I don't know. It just, you know, look, I'm not a detective, but from what I do true crime all the time, it's usually like we see a picture of her or we have some proof of life. Not having any is incredibly rare. So I don't know. My prayers and thoughts go out to the Guthrie family, and I cannot imagine what it would be like if Dr. Jackie was just taken, like, and her pacemaker stopped working with the Apple Watch, like. And what's so interesting is the camera that was stolen, the Ring camera, detected someone, but they didn't pay for the subscription Ring, so they don't have any video of it. And they all are also looking at a certain vehicle that they of interest, but I don't think it's going very well. I just don't think
I think they got nothing. Yeah. I think for as much as we have been subjected to propaganda throughout our lives, like you know, there's 4 hot detectives and they're gonna get on Tori's case and wait a second, we found an orange peel and an earring. Right. I think those guys have shit. Yeah. I think they're sitting around the office going OF, and they're checking, they're getting calls from psychics and checking Instagram to see if anybody's posted. They don't have anything. And to defend them a little bit, how do you search for a person you've never seen before that's vanished into thin air? It's a difficult thing.
And that's why they were regretting that high-tech camera. they were like, that would have saved that could have given us a video of the visual area in a much faster way than they did, and they didn't. So that's a regret. But yeah, I just feel every time I see Savannah in those videos, it's just, you can see her despair. I mean, she's just, the whole family's in shock, and
it's your
awful.
absolute worst nightmare. All right, Tori. Well, you mentioned the Epstein file, so here we go. All right, Tori, we're talking about Ghislaine Maxwell. She is a gem. Yes, Tori, Ghislaine says that she will, it seems like she's willing to, talk on behalf of Trump if he gives her clemency. If not, she's going to stay with her puppy in her low security security prison and do her time. So, Tori, you're the Trump administration. This story ain't going away. You post racist memes, ain't going away. You make comments about the Super Bowl halftime show is bad for American children. You're flooded with comments like "et tu, Brute." So I'm wondering, is this an option for the Trump administration to get her to come out and say, I've never seen or heard this man, even though his name is in the Epstein files more than the word "the"? So I don't know what their move is, but they got to do something, because they can't go 3 more years like this.
No, I mean, it says something when you have to go super racist to get away from your pedophile, like worry. By the way, a lot of people in DC are saying Republicans feel that racist post cost them the midterms. So I think they're all freaking out. She took the 5th. She's allowed to take the 5th. I don't think he will give her clemency. And I think what he's mostly worried about is Bill Clinton. And Bill Clinton, according to the DC gossip that I hear, is willing to go all out and explain everything about what Trump did in order that he get enough seats in the Senate to impeach Trump by March 31st. And he has the info. He has that. Even if he puts himself down with this, because he's all over the Epstein files, he's ready to go nuclear on this, apparently, and let all the secrets out of the bag. And that's what Donald Trump's worst nightmare is. And he wants to do it publicly. Remember, the one thing the Clintons wanted was an open, camera-filled session so that the world can see what's happening. There are
a lot like Jack Smith.
That's right. That's right. And even if he puts himself down, he wants to take out this president. And I think he has, if anyone knows, he knows. Ghislaine Maxwell, there's not much you can kind of do. I mean, the Congress people were like, we're very disappointed that she took the 5th. We had so many questions, but like, of course she's going to take the 5th. She's always skidded away from it. She's always gotten away with it. I mean, she's not supposed to be in a small, minor offensive jail for a sexual offender. That's like not allowed. But she just gets away with it because she has all the dirts and knows where the bodies are buried. But Trump wants to stay so far away from this that I don't think he will give her clemency. But I do think it's...
Well, what do you see his option of getting this out of the news? Because like you said, he tried the
racist part.
He tried that. He's like, well, cross that one off. Yeah, he can maybe do some things that maybe King Joffrey did in Game of Thrones.
No joke, that trap door that goes to the sea and the hidden trap door.
That was my first thought.
Totally Game of Thrones. They are saying that the Democrats feel they will have enough votes, again, even without Bill Clinton, to impeach the president by the 31st. That March 31st is a big cutoff date for people right now. So keep your eyes on impeachment. But I don't think there's really much he can do. And he's always known for going on the offense, even when he's on defense. And there's not a lot of offensive plays he can make here. He can distract with Greenland. He can blow up boats in Venezuela. He can kidnap their president. But the Democratic senators, especially the women, are not letting this go. They are just absolutely not going to let this go. And they know this is a huge, not win for them, because it's not a win for anybody. But some of these things are about killing children, about torturing children, about raping children. And if the president of the United States allegedly raped children, how do you get away from that play? Like, how do you avoid that? Now, he's avoided it for a very long time, but what we see in the files is so disgusting and so disturbing. I don't know what play he has left. And he's not, apparently in the White House, he's very down. He's very angry. His polls just came out and they were very bad again. So I just don't understand.
When they show him his polls, they have to use a slide whistle. Like,
so I don't think there'll be clemency. And I think this might be the thing that takes him down. I hope it is. Again, 13 other countries have started investigations into their own people, into how they were around these Epstein files and why, including today, Al, Prince William has asked to find out, and you're going to love this. You know, Prince Andrew, who obviously got his princedom taken away and all that, he's now asking who was his protective officers surrounding Andrew at the time, because he wants them gone and arrested, and he wants him out of the country, apparently. So England is giving us a lesson in how you handle when files like this come out. You go to trial or you do something and you don't allow the people that protected him to even stay. That's the kind of attitude we should be having.
Yeah, Tori, I have always taken 10 steps back from any kind of Pollyanna pie in the sky. This might take him down because nothing has.
I agree with you.
But
I agree.
This right here is untenable. We cannot move forward. We cannot move back. We cannot move until this is addressed.
We're stuck here.
And I think he's fine staying here. But guess what? There's a whole bunch of Republicans running up and down the ballot in different races, sometimes tight races, swing seats, swing states, swing counties.
And he's bad for business, Al. He's bad.
He's terrible for business.
Yeah.
And any opponent, if they don't attach him to their Republican adversary, they're bad at their job.
Yeah.
So it's either like, and Trump will choose himself over 7 billion other Republicans. He doesn't care about them. But this may be the first time that they have enough shared fear of losing their seats, losing their counties, losing blood red districts because of this, because it's just so gross on every level that unless you are that they're saying, like, with the numbers we're seeing, it's showing that even the unmovable Trump 32% is moving, or just going to be motivated to not vote.
Oh, exactly. Yeah. And they're, to be honest, I know this sounds bad. The Epstein files were horrific because he's in them 38,000 times, including money and all of that. But with the alleged raping of children, threatening to kill children,
assault, physical assault. Yes.
Physical assault. That plus the racist Obama video where he's like, I didn't know what was going on. The word is that the Republicans are like, he nailed his own coffin in this one. Like these two, no voter can get over these two things. And if they do, it's going to be a minority of people. Some woman just won in a hardcore Louisiana red district where he had won the votes from 13 points, just like that Texas guy. And they're saying that it would never go blue, and it went blue. So I just think, again, he's going to look at the midterms. Bannon came out today and said that ICE will be around the polls and they will take ballots if they think that there's cheating. That's the only route he has, is to illegally and unconstitutionally go and take the votes out. That's sort of what I think is his only out.
Yeah, and I think they're so unpopular that it still wouldn't matter. Tori, I think because you're not even discussing the fact that he destroyed the farmers. The economy is in the shitter.
The affordability is terrible.
Jobs are non-existent. He just kept firing, the people that do the jobs report until finally he was just like, just tell them.
Yeah.
It's as bad as it could be. And speaking of the Epstein files and things being as bad as they could be, do you remember last week we talked about Howard Lutnick, the Commerce Secretary, that came out and said he's never, he hadn't seen Jeffrey Epstein since, even though they were next door neighbors. They went over there once. He was creepy, and they never talked again. It was then found in the Epstein files that his wife made plans to come down and visit and like kind of pimped out their kids. I do a lot of follow-up stories just because I'm a nerd. One thing that he also failed to mention in that whole propaganda CBS interview, where they reported and he was like, he was creepy and I never saw him again. Did you know that the house that guy lived in, the house next to Jeffrey Epstein, Epstein owned that house too, and he sold that house to Howard Lutnick for $10.
Wow. Wow.
A New York mansion
Damn.
for $10.
Yeah.
He just forgot to bring that up. Maybe if a CBS reporter was interested in doing their job, that might be an interesting thing for people to hear about.
Totally agree.
You can't get an extra value meal at Wendy's. I know for a fact.
No,
for
you can
$10.
get nothing. You can get nothing. And I don't know. I just think that the women in these red states, when it comes to children, like they can believe in his policy, America first, get rid of all the immigrants, all that. But when it comes to like a debate between a Republican and Democrat, and they're like, what line is the line for you? Like, is this not the line? There's not a lot that Republican can kind of come back with. And I think he knows it too. So look, if he's impeached, fantastic. But I think what's sad is that I saw a meme, Al, that said, what's happening now is America is committing suicide because Republicans won't stand up to the Mad King. And it's one of the craziest times in geopolitical era ever. And it's true. America is losing on the global front in many, many ways. Its dignity, its sense of allyship, it's not a winning formula or combination. And it's starting to become apparent. So I just think there's no up for Trump right now. I haven't seen him have a win in a long time. And his losses are like raping allegedly and like being a super racist. Like they're really bad, really, really bad,
Yeah.
So,
I mean, that you're in a downswing when the least terrible thing that has been on the internet about you is the 2 times in the White House that you definitely shit your pants. Did you see the other one, the second one, where the reporters clear people out? And Tori, I watched it so much because at first I was like, did he really? But here's how I know, because it's almost like,
no, he did. He did.
When you've ever been out and like your underarms are a little stinky, you don't want to raise them, so you're like, all right, Tori, see you, have fun, God bless. When you shit down your back when you're a kid, if anybody's raised kids, and you're embarrassed, you're old enough to be embarrassed, you don't want to get up because that's gonna let hell in high water. So what you want to do is you got to stay planted. So when he ends the meeting, and there's somebody to his left and his right. He says, so thank you. And then the guy to his right, he takes his left hand and he's like, it's so awkward because he can't move because he shit up his back. And anybody that's had a kid in a high chair knows that you can shit against gravity. And I think that's what he did.
So like, I just saw a tweet today from an old staffer. She said, I've worked for Trump for 3 years. He shits his pants. Now, this is alleged because it's from a tweet, but it's an old staffer. He snorts Adderall all the time. And K, they said, what I don't know, but they said his pooping in his pants has been like, he wears diapers, and it's been like a major issue for the press team because he'll be in the middle of a conversation with someone, the press, and be like, thank you.
Tori, the way that press team, that there's always questions and answers.
I know.
It's a Q&A. They cleared that room like The Rock was about to walk through, holding hands with Taylor Swift. They were like, a reporter was like, can I? And they were like, no.
It's so bad. It was just terrible. And apparently it's been going on for a while because of some alleged drug use that has become laxative like for him.
Yeah. Adderall it's a stimulant. And I have a friend of mine, and he's since passed away. But he was a comic. He was one of those comics. He was about to be really big, and he was an alcoholic, and he was like really skinny white dude. He got addicted to crack as well. And I was like, what is crack like? I had to ask him, and he was like, the first time you do it, you immediately shit your pants. And I'll never forget him saying that. But it's a stimulant, but it's like mixed with other like speed and stuff. And speed is often mixed with like baby laxatives. I forgot what it's called. Not Demerol, but mannitol. and it's a baby laxative, and like so that's what those guys cut it with. You're not getting pure stuff. So he's like, as soon as I did it, I just in this guy's backyard. Okay, that's look. The world isn't just what you want it to be.
Yeah, this is real here. And apparently there's an ISO, which means isolated audio of the crapping that you can hear, and the woman behind him does this and like
yes. Yeah, remember the little girl's face when she looked up?
Yeah.
That was her. You like channeled her right there. Like because there's just something about the honesty of children where they just go, I don't like that. What's wrong with his face? Like you're like, don't say it. But like that little girl, you can't fake that. No one can see she's a paid agitator. That's a little girl that has an olfactory system that's properly working.
Totally. And he also I just want to end on this. He also just berated the Olympic athletes who said their freedom of speech about how they have mixed emotions about America right now. And I don't know if you saw this, Al. Barack Obama tweeted, Michelle and I are so proud of all the Olympians and everyone who did this hard work. And it's about time we see Obama. He's the leader still of the Democratic Party in a lot of ways for inspiration. And we are looking to him, and for him to have stepped up in direct refute of an American sitting president going against American Olympians was a really good thing to see. So I expect
it's not the first time we've seen them. Remember Fox News and all them going after who's the incredible gymnast?
There's a lot. Simone
Biles. Yeah, when she had the twisties. And remember, this is back when Tucker was still on Fox News, and he was like, if I trained for 4 years, I'd get out there and do it. But you ladies, it's like, sir, this woman is built out of granite and is more athletic than anybody in your gene line will ever be or will ever even be in the same room with. This is not the fight. You don't be getting into Simone Biles about gymnastics. Like the arrogance is staggering.
It really is. And
like I also walk around like, Simone, like do your little thing. I will say this. Speaking of the Olympics, we didn't talk about this. If you blinked, you missed it. Did you see JD Vance on the screen get booed? And they cut away from him the way that like they do when a woman flashes the Jumbotron. And she's like, yeah. And it's like cuts to like a little boy. And they're like, what?
And
like
not only that,
they cut away.
He got booed big time. And the commentators discussed it. But NBC censored the boos. So we didn't even hear the boos. NBC took out the booing from their broadcast, which is insanity because now you're censoring the media, which is insane. So NBC is like, what happened there? And I also heard, and I spent a year in Italy studying abroad. I speak Italian, and JD Vance apparently brought his own food to Italy. And I'm like, who brings their own food to the culinary capital of the world?
What a dirt. He's over there eating Red Robin in front of the.
I'm like, it's so embarrassing.
What
but yeah,
dirt bag. It's just like
he was booed badly.
Yeah, and I mean, them dubbing out the booing is a big deal.
Yeah, it is a big deal.
Never. That is something that you'd be like, well, yeah, it's Russia, it's China.
Yeah, exactly.
It's information suppression. Me hearing somebody get booed is giving me information that the people in that stadium don't like that team.
And you're reflecting what happened in reality. You're just reflecting what happened. You know what I mean?
Right. What if the NFL did that, Tori?
I know.
What if the NFL dubbed out the boos and put in cheers for a play that happened? It would completely distort the message of what happened. You're altering reality. Yeah. And it is the fact that the freedom of speech people, the don't touch anything, small government people.
Don't tread on me.
I'm going to say this. And this isn't maybe it is an ad for Friends from Work, but just independent media in general. The reason we appreciate you guys' donations is because we are no doubt at the forefront of how media will be. There's a scene, Tori, in a movie I love, and I'm sure all the colleagues have seen. I can't think of the Will Smith where everybody dies, where everybody turns into a zombie. His famous one, like. I Am Legend. Yeah. And he, for whatever reason, he finds that Hispanic mother and her daughter in like an abandoned house, and they have like a good time. And then like, she's like, so like, How do we think we're going to get humanity back? And he just snaps because he knows what's out there. And he just goes, everybody that you and I ever knew is dead. That is how media is. TikTok is dead. Twitter is dead. CBS is dead. NBC is dead. Facebook is super sus. And so there's us and there's CBS who's covering. They did a rerun on 60 Minutes of a mashup of famous celebrity interviews during this day and age because they can't talk about anything and they got caught spiking stories.
Yeah, they did.
We are the only people for now, but who knows? There are people being threatened. There are people being followed. We are in a very strange, precarious time as a country. And once you start dubbing out boos for the dear beloved leader, what does that sound like?
Yeah, that's what scared me. Now I know Canada played it with the boos because Canada doesn't have an issue with that. And I also saw that Trump wants. Oh, I shouldn't go into the merger and all that, but there's something going on.
No, I want to hear about it.
Well, there's a merger going on between Tegna and Nexstar.
Oh yeah, you shouldn't go into that.
Yeah, I shouldn't. I work for Tegna.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you should definitely not.
But the media is a big part of a dictator's playbook, and controlling the media would be an enormous part of that. And if Nexstar does get to buy Tegna, they would be in 80% of the households. One media company would be they'd be in 80% of the households, which is just to me really, really non-American, non-competition, over monopoly, all of that. So that scares me a lot.
State television.
It totally is. And so it's hard to find who you trust at this point. There's also a picture going viral where he's in a meeting in the Oval Office recently, and in the background is a screen, and they show America and Canada and Greenland all with American flags. Like he's going to try and take it over, which is insane. But anyway.
Yes, but I think that they would remove him if he tried that. I do think there's enough generals that would understand the historic global shift that would cause if we invaded Canada, but not Russia, and did not help Ukraine with Russia, have not helped any of our allies, but instead attacked them. That's not just something you can be like, oh, that's our demented old president. That would be a global shift. And as the US dollar, which is the world's currency, is kind of floundering, that would be the kind of thing that pushes things over and kind of allows somebody else to supplant us as a global leader, because all these countries, just like all of us, want stability in our relationships. And they're like, we can't be like dependent on y'all if every 4 years you guys elect a raving lunatic.
Yeah, I know. And General Milley always said there was contingency plans if he wanted to do something that was so outrageous that the military had backup plans, that they wouldn't allow it. So look, nothing is going well for this man. Nothing. He's getting older. He's shitting his pants. He's putting his racism out there. And he's also an alleged pedophile. So I don't know how he gets another win before the midterms. And if not, unless he gets a win, we're going to see the votes try to be taken. That's like his next step. So keep your eye out for anything about ICE being at the polls, which is, by the way, unconstitutional, and federal nationalizing the vote, which is also unconstitutional. States have every right to take over the vote, not the federal government. And he wants to just nationalize it. So that's his next move.
Which is not a thing.
It's not a thing. It's illegal. It's absolutely illegal. So
yeah, and I will say this to make everybody feel better. Is it scary that he could try and nationalize the vote? Yes. Or take over the the voting booths? Yeah, it is. But you forget that this guy started out corrupt. So he gutted all of our institutions that would even do that. I heard that he gutted 17% of the IRS. So that, because he was worried about his rich friends getting audited, because Biden brought in a bunch of high-level auditors that can track down big sums of money from guys that are good at hiding it. So first thing he did was he gutted our IRS. He's gutted a lot of our institutions. So we don't even have the infrastructure to nationalize an election. We can barely get people to sign up for ICE. And now they all know that they're not getting paid. The best thing about them is they're a lot of bark. There are a lot of bark. Have they killed people? Absolutely. Will we find out that they have sexually assaulted thousands and thousands of people? Absolutely. Will we find out that they murdered young women on that island? And it's interesting, we haven't checked any of his other properties, New Mexico, and all those ranches, wherever he has those, because I think there might be some interesting things to excavate out there. We're going to find a lot of gross stuff.
Yeah.
But what we're not going to find is competence.
Yeah. And by the way, people are like, it's unconstitutional. Who's going to stop that? I do think, look, I know a lot about the Supreme Court. I understand that he's owned the Supreme Court. He packed the court. The Supreme Court would go into an emergency session and rule on this. And just so you guys know, the Arizona voting captains of certain elections say they also have backup plans with law enforcement if ICE tries to come over to the polls. So they're getting prepared to protect the polls and to not be intimidated by any ICE agents, which is completely illegal. But I hear you when you're like, but there's no one above him to like stop him from doing this. I do understand that frustration of like, but where's the enforcement? Where's the enforcement? But I think the vote would cross too many lines. And at this point, I think the Republicans see the writing on the wall too. And they just see what you said, just a downslide of terrible accusations in the Epstein files, terribly racist posts. And they see that he ruined the midterms and they don't want that to continue. And this could be the end of Teflon Don. Hopefully.
Absolutely. And with the midterms ending, hopefully we can take back some seats and just stop a lot of this stuff from even, being turned into law. Because right now he just has no guardrails. And this is what happens when you give one man
right.
that has a horrible track record and is now, it looks like, going through frontal temporal dementia, no guardrails, including the Supreme Court. Just imagine if you let older folks in all of our lives, the last 2 years that they were alive, yelling stuff at the television, if they also could control the dollar and how the world worked. So, and that would explain a lot about where we are. But you know what, Tori? Every day I wake up, I'm like, we're going to find more and more about these Epstein files because, sis, it goes back to what we were saying. A lot of bark, but they're not good at what they do. And because of that, they've released unredacted files. Rokanna's down there today looking at the unredacted files, and he was on Twitter asking people what they want to see that's redacted that he can read for them. So,
and Clinton, by the way, Clinton, when he goes to testify, they'll have to read unredact things for discovery, which is another reason he's going to testify. And today, Al, just really quick, they brought Lauren Boebert in because they want her to change her vote and flip so that the new Epstein files will not be allowed out. So they're grasping at the very last straws that they see possible. But I don't know how you can be a human being and be okay with what's been mentioned in the Epstein files. I just don't get it. I didn't think people were like that, and they are. And then when the deputy attorney general says, I don't understand the question. What do you mean there were men abusing women? And I'm like, read the files you released. Like, what don't you understand? So it should be Epstein trials, not files. That's how
I don't want to leave the show on this note, but I'm all in on what Kash Patel said. He said that they found nothing, that Epstein trafficked girls to himself.
Yeah.
And that there was nothing to see. That was before the first 3.5 billion files.
Yeah.
I want to see some retribution. There need to be people, there need to be trials.
Where's the investigation even? Yeah.
We can't do that now because we don't have any power. But there will be a time.
Yeah.
Just like in all regimes, read a history book or listen to it on a podcast. Yeah. And just understand that regimes like this, especially ones that are so poorly run.
Terribly.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
But, once they get, once this collapses, it's just like, my dad said the feds would always do when they get, let's say me, you, and Michael Dean, we're robbing banks and we be in the back of the squad car like, you don't talk, I won't talk. And we knuckle bump. And they get us there. They separate us into different rooms. And they're like, yo, girl, Tori.
They start talking immediately.
She said you were the kingpin. I'd be like, Michael Dean told me. Yeah, totally. And once this falls apart, this will fall apart. And it will be a spectacular fireworks show of sad men fleeing the ship. And I cannot wait for that. You know what else I can't wait for? Tomorrow, Tori. So, we need to do this really quickly. All right, give us one. Tori is
God.
fumbling for a fun fact.
Nope, I got one.
All right.
Oh God. Sorry. Okay, we're
Tori, I
back.
already have my oranges and your orange blocking right now.
Are you okay? Ready?
Yes.
Okay. This one I really liked and I saved it. Okay. Okay. Okay, I don't know if this one's very good.
Glad you saved it.
So the loudest sound in the world that's ever appeared, do you know that's ever happened? Do you know what that was?
Tsunami?
It was the Krakatoan explosion of the volcano. And when it cracked, it was the loudest sound ever made on Earth. And it was so loud that it ruptured people's eardrums 40 miles away.
Wow. That's a good one. That's a good one.
Isn't that crazy? Yes, the loudest sound ever in the history of the world that we know of.
Well, before we say goodbye, I looked it up. Do you know what the second loudest one was?
Was it Trump shitting his pants?
Damn, you know me too good. God damn it. That was going to be my good fucking outro. Damn it.